There's no judgment here in Wifey's mental care. All right, guys, so we're doing something a little different today.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Wifey therapy session.
Yay.
We wanted to let you guys get to know us a little bit in a atmosphere that's a lot more relaxed, and so we're gonna do something different. We're gonna play a single player game together. We're just gonna, see who designs the house cuter.
Probably
And we'll
gonna be
leave that up
Pingu.
to you guys. And probably not. I have no sense of style.
I
Um,
I can't make up my mind and I can't make decisions properly, so
that's fair.
then I just end up
I
going,
have that
fuck it.
issue. Yeah. So welcome to the couch, and there is no love book here for me to burn. So, um,
Yay.
that being said, we are going to remodel this house with uninvited guests, which I'm assuming are cockroaches. So if you guys,
Is that what it is?
I think they're cockroaches.
Oh, ew.
So so if you guys have a cockroach phobia, there's your warning now.
Oh, God, this house is disgusting.
And we're buying and we're going.
Yep.
And I'm leaving the animals at home.
Oh my God. That's highly a panic. Ooh, a flamethrower. I don't have a vacuum. Let's pull up my vacuum cleaner. Can I just
Oh
sweep them
yeah.
up? Wait,
No, so
E?
if you go up to them and
Ah?
hit E, it'll pull out a vacuum.
Dude, I also, for anyone wondering, I used to play this game, but I haven't played it in forever. So, on my
So
end,
she's starting inside and I am taking
oh,
care
I'm
of this
outside.
lawn. This lawn is horrible. I
Dude,
don't
suck
appreciate
up
it.
these bugs faster. Holy slowpoke. This game
All right.
is,
Ew, there are moles here. What the fuck?
dude, this place is hideous, man. Ugh. Oh, this is gonna take forever.
Dude, I've got molehills in the fucking front yard.
Oh my, good lord. Oh yeah, so we're doing
But
like a podcast now. So
just
yeah, we're still gonna be talking like I guess about the game and shit like that, but focusing on I guess what's our main topic today that we're gonna focus on?
I think we decided we were gonna do a little bit of mental health stuff and like
Yeah, because we've been
I
having
don't
a
know,
moment.
relationship
Yeah,
conversations, I guess,
that's like the
would be the
topic of the
best way
moment.
to describe it. And please don't hold us to that because we are very much so two people that we will sidetracked and talk
Mm-hmm.
about other things as well. And that's just like we just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to get to know us where she's not fighting for her life and I'm lackadaisically running through a spaceship trying to de-seat a monkey.
Yeah.
Um, or we're not going Lion King style and the cutest little stuffed elephant on the face of the fucking planet.
Oh.
Um, and we're not like super, I guess, encumbered with the game itself. We wanted to just chill and chat.
Yeah, because I feel like that's like the vibe at the moment is like we need that chill sort of vibe right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
Um,
we've had our plenty of our wifey therapy sessions the past couple weeks. But you know, bring it over here to everybody because I don't know, it's a little scary, but
it is, but I mean, you guys spend your time with us. The least we can do is actually let you guys get to know us
yeah, and that's
in a
like
different realm.
that's kind of part like I see this as like how I talk on the podcast kind of thing of like it's scary to then be like, hey, this is all the shit that has happened. This is how I feel as a person because you never know. You never. Hey, this could be a thing that goes viral, right? And people are like, oh, your opinion is shit. And that kind of thing
Right.
is a little bit scary because it's not what you want to hear. Is anybody shitting on anything, especially when it's how you feel. So that part is a bit scarier. But that's also comes with myself and being not afraid to be judged, but like to look like an idiot. And I think that's
The
kind of
embarrassment, the
yes.
ridicule isn't really what the issue is. It's I think it's more so the actual um like risk of talking and letting people in and in a different atmosphere and then having that kind of backfire in your face. I think that's
Yeah,
where the fear really comes from.
exactly.
Ooh, I can hear the cockroaches.
It's
That's gross.
definitely, I don't know. It's a very weird thing because I don't mind talking about things, but I
Very
am,
selective.
yeah, I just don't want to like sound stupid and someone be like, "Hey, like how you feel is stupid." That's kind of where it's like, "Oh, I don't want to feel like that." And I don't think anybody wants to feel like how they feel is stupid, which is why I always say to people anytime, I don't care what anyone says, even if it's not that it's stupid, but even if it's like a small little thing that like might seem stupid, it's still not stupid, you know? Like it's your thing. Feel however the fuck you want, because I know I can be a dramatic ass bitch. I can say some stupid stuff. I can feel stupid things. It's just like how it is sometimes. So
Yeah.
can't judge anybody for the things that you do too. Like that, you could tell them maybe, hey, this isn't healthy, but like to judge them for it, what the fuck? You can't say that shit. You do it too.
Right. Like, it's just life is life, which is a
Yeah,
really like cliche thing to say. But
it is.
God, this house is fucking
Dude, it
trash.
is so bad.
This house is gross.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm literally selling everything.
Yeah, I first thing I did was sell everything, and then now I'm cleaning up everything. Cause holy ugly. Hey, don't judge a book by its cover, because we're gonna make it pretty.
Right.
Uh,
But so we've had a the life of Pengu has been very I don't even know how to describe it. That's where I'm at. It's been
yeah,
we'll just say that. Like, and that's not to say like life's supposed to be all sunshines and rainbows either, like unfortunately, but it just kind of sucks cuz you get into your feels about a certain kind of thing and then like the feels don't let you not feel.
yeah,
And that's really where things really suck, especially in the avenue of someone like me who has a hard time finding a sense of peace and happiness and like light in the darkness. So, I mean, like that's kind of where I'm at, to be fair. Is
yeah,
I'm so apathetic that I actually despise being this apathetic, but I don't really feel like there's any other choice I have at the moment.
yeah.
I don't know if that makes
Ugh.
sense, but
No, no, like it does. It's just such a, to me, you know, I was telling you this before, but it is so hard for me when I have a friend that is feeling a certain way and you know what that way is, but you know that like in a specific department, right? Like in a love department, and you not like family friend love, but you know, love
the
relationship love.
non-platonic,
Yeah,
yeah.
I literally can't do anything about that. You know, like for you, I would love to, but I literally couldn't do it if I tried. Same for you. You couldn't force anything to me because then you know that's not gonna be a good thing. So it's kind of hard to like, because as a friend you want them to have that, you want them to have um what they want, what could make them happy, but like you, because you know you can't technically do anything about that, but like you want it for them so bad. So that's where like, you know, we've been talking this week and I just would love to,
Fix it, make it
yeah,
go away.
right, like I, and it's hard when you know you can't. And you know, I, that's where it's like when we talk and stuff, I want to do all these, say all these good things, but everyone's heard them before, like, of course someone's gonna
And
say
I
that to you.
and right, because most people, this is why, and it's because most people feel super awkward. They don't know how to handle that situation, and so like they try to do the band-aid fix, but that's all it is it's a band-aid fix.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change anything. It's not going to do anything other than temporarily help a situation, but how much is that temporary help going to actually help?
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's a rock and a hard place. And like for me in particular, who someone who has been dealing with that kind of, as I like to call it, rabbit hole or darkness, um, for far too long in their life, it's like it kind of sucks on my end too, because like that whole feeling, and I know we've talked about this in the past, that whole feeling of like, oh yeah, people tell you like you're awesome and you're great and this, that, and the other, but it's not actually enough. And to have that feeling as a consistent, like almost burden,
Yeah.
it hits you differently as you go through life, because you've done things to try to like sidestep those,
Mhm.
and you can't.
Yeah.
And so at one point do you just sit there and decide, well, I've been in survival mode my whole life, like I'm just done.
Yeah.
Not saying like you're gonna do something drastic, right? I'm not saying like that, but like you're just done. Like how much can a person take
Yeah. And that's
of being
why
told the same thing?
that's exactly why, like, when you're talking to me about it, I can tell you all these things of like, don't give up, don't do this, like keep doing this, and at the same time I don't want to be hypocritical because look, if like I understand what you're saying completely, and I think that's why I'm like I don't want to be a hypocrite of like someone can say that to me, but it's like I know it's not going to change anything. I know it's not going to
Yeah.
change how I feel, and I mean, as a friend, never want you to give up on those things, of course, but I can't say that I don't get it. And I can't say that, like, because everything that people feel is, like, it's understandable in your own way, but in your case, I, like, get it, too, which makes it kind of worse of, like, I'm not going to give you this, like, bullshit advice kind of thing. And it's
This
hard, so
to quote a certain song, this cliche motivation.
yeah, like, cause I know, like, I understand it, like, and everything that you're saying, it's like, I I get it too. Which obviously we have an age gap, so you've lived more, so I can imagine, like, since I've felt those same things, I can imagine that the feeling would only feel so much worse. So that's kind of why, like, I get it, and I can only say so much of until I'm becoming like a hypocrite in a way. Not that I am, but like, you know what I'm saying?
And yeah, I do know what you're saying. I don't think it's like hypocritical.
Yeah, but
I think like after you say something so many times to
yeah.
someone who's probably heard it a
Mhm.
thousand and one times, at what point is it now you're not being hypocritical, but it's just who are you trying to convince at that point?
Yeah,
Are you trying to convince the person, or are you trying to convince yourself that this is what's going on? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
so, and I think it's being on the opposite side of it, where you're trying to be there for somebody who obviously, you care about, you want to do everything you can to make them feel better, and show them that, it's not what you think it is. Like, eventually it's just it's just that. It's just words, and words don't mean anything after a certain point.
Yeah. That's what, and that's where that sort of thing gets hard, because obviously it's not going to tell you, I'm never going to tell you to give up on anything. Like, I won't, because I know that, like, you would want to give up on those things. Because when something happens so much, it's like, why the fuck wouldn't you give up? You know, like, I always say to
Yeah.
people, if 99% of the people in my life that I've had, I know people can say, oh, they were shit people, whatever. 99% of the people that I have in my entire life have left me or put me down and told me why I wasn't a good person, why I wasn't this, why I did this, all of that stuff. I'm going to start to believe them at some point, because why wouldn't you? It's 99% of the people in your life making you feel a certain way. I've had one person, which would be Mackenzie, which is my best friend, and she is the only one that stuck by me, just in general. She's the only one that showed me what it was like to have a friend. All of this stuff. So it's like, yes, I appreciate that 1%. Like, you wouldn't even imagine. But at a certain point, you're kind of like, um, you know, you believe the other people if it's such a high percentage. And that's my problem with relationships right now. I knew it was going to be a problem after how bad, like, the last one shit on me.
Yeah.
And what I think what he did and how he did it was different, because I was finally being convinced that it was different this time around. And I think that's where it got me the worst is because I was being convinced of something my brain, or I was being convinced of the opposite of what my brain already thought. And that's hard to do when you're already thinking
Yeah.
the way that you do. And that's why that last one fucked me up so bad, because I actually thought, hey, maybe. And that's like the worst thing, is when you actually think, hey, maybe, and then you get shit on. Because then you feel stupid too. You're like, I actually fucking thought, what an idiot. Like, everybody's been like this in my life. Why would you ever think that? All that sort of thing. And I'm at a point now of, like, relationship wise, obviously I understand breakups, and when you break up with people, obviously your percentage is going to be low if you're still single, because you're still single. But things that were said, things that were done, how I was made to feel in those relationships, it's now led me to a point right now of, what do I believe? Like, how do I believe somebody again?
Oh,
Because
100%.
I mean, I was right there. Like, Pangu was there with the last one, and I mean, I was so ready to actually start believing a guy. I got so used to last year. I said to everybody, like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna accept the fact that, like, I'm not the girl that somebody is going to want. I'm not the girl that somebody is going to love like I love. Like, it's
Which
just
kills me as a person because, like, I've got you by what? How many years?
quite a few.
Quite a few. And I felt that way my whole life.
Yeah.
And it kills me because you're such a beautiful soul. And I'm not saying that, like, my soul isn't beautiful in its own regards or whatever, but you're so young. You have such a a fire in your heart for things that you're passionate about. And for me, it kills me to hear you say that you're never going to be that
Yeah.
because in all actuality, you really are that. But because life has shit on you and people have constantly told you that you're not worth it, you're not going to amount to it, like X, Y, and Z, insert reasons here. Like, you now have this mentality of, well, it ain't never going to happen for me, so why should I even care?
Yeah.
And like, and I was at the tail end of the one before the last one,
Mm-hmm.
if you remember. So like that's when I came into the picture and like we started being friends, and I kind of bullied you to be come out of your shell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Shamelessly, I bullied her. It's fine. I'll
Hey,
admit
she got me out there for real though.
it. I'll admit it. It was that, but I also did that because I saw something in you that I knew you weren't seeing yourself. And I'm the type of person where if I see it, other people see it too. So now I'm going to try to help you see it. I'm not going to make you see it because I can't make you see something that's not there.
Yeah.
But I can keep being that positive in your life that I didn't have in mine. And maybe I can make a difference that way. That equally sucks for me because I am not that girl. I'm not the one that gets pined over or like has to like sit there and really think about, oh, there's this guy and that guy and this guy. Like no, that's not I've never been that girl. I've always
Yeah.
been, like you said earlier, I've always been told I'm too much. I do this too much. I do that too much. Or case in point for not this last one, but the one before that, where oh, there's a part of your personality that I just don't click. But when I ask what part of it is, so I can make a judgment call for myself on if that's really like an issue and like do some soul searching, you're not going to tell me. I'm sorry, who do you think you are kind of thing? And I'm just so jaded these days. It kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie to you. Kind of really sucks. I wish I was didn't have such a negative outlook, I guess, on a concept of like just being like
That's that's like that's kind of the worst of it too, because the fact that, because it's a weird thing of, people always tell me, which it bugs me, but I get it, but it also bugs me when somebody tells me, you have to see that for yourself. And I'm like, look, get you 100%. I understand that
right.
100%, that you have to see that in you. Like, I totally get it. But the thing is there are holes in you that, like, and not everybody's like this. There are so many people who actually, like, love being single, love having no friend. Like, there are people who enjoy that. I am not that person. I
Nope.
I will never be that person. Like, my goal in life, my literal goal in life is to be married and have children. That is my goal in life. So the fact that, like, people see me as, like, being dependent because of that dream, I'm like, it's not dependent. It is something I never had, for one. I did
Yeah.
not have parents that care. Well, okay, I don't want to say that because my mom does care to a certain extent. She's just she's difficult. But I didn't have a loving family. I've
You didn't
had
have a
some.
good, the way I look at it is you didn't have a good example.
No, I mean, my parents hate each other. Like, they never liked each other, which is a weird concept to think of because I have a brother and then there was me. So it's like, fucking what? But they literally do not like each other. And I, and in my family too, my uncles and aunts, always fighting, always screaming at each other, toxic as fuck. Like, that's all I've ever seen in my life. And I would see these parents of other kids happy. I would see, like, as dumb as this sounds, but as I got older, my best friend with her boyfriend, and she would hear his voice and her, like, eyes would light up, and I just look at that and I'm like, God, I want that. And that's why with all these guys I've been with, yes, they are shit. God, I shouldn't have stayed with so many of them, but I hold on to a certain part of them that I did like, and it just sucks me in. And because once I get to, like, the love part, I love so hard, it's
Oh
so
yeah.
hard to get out of. And it's just such a, like, fucky situation of, you know, like you were saying, we talked about this before we got in here, but feeling like too much because people have made me feel like that. I've been told that, like, it's my last, not my last one, the one before that, the one of 3.5 years, he would always tell me that I was dependent on him. And, I asked him why, and he said, well, because when you're having a bad day, you want to see me. And I'm like, the fuck?
How is that being dependent? That's
That,
me just wanting to be around somebody
right?
that I genuinely care about, that literally makes me, what's the phrase you used earlier? Like, it's almost like a comfort blanket.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll do that. Well, it's almost like a security blanket. It's that
Mm-hmm.
person that you feel safe with. It's that person that you trust to turn to when you're feeling upset or overburdened or overwhelmed, or however you want to fucking put it. It's like home to an extent.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you don't feel like you want to be at yours, like, that's your home.
Oh,
And
100%.
that's why that shit, God, when he said that, because I see myself as my own person, obviously. Like, I absolutely do. I love my me time. I love to sit there and do my things, but I also love hard for people. So I'm going to want to check up on you. I'm going to want to spend time with you. I'm going to think about you. Like, it's just how I am. And he wasn't like that, obviously. I mean, he would tell me that, like, he couldn't love like I could love. He didn't see other females, like, when he saw other females, he could see them as more attractive. And I would explain to him, when I would tell him, I don't know, like, a celebrity was more, like, he was more attractive than them. He's like, the fuck, now you're just, like, lying. I'm like, no, you are. Because if you are the person I feel that certain way about, you are everything. And I'm not just convincing myself that. That is how I see you. And he couldn't,
Right.
he literally told me, I can't love like that. I can't see it like that. And that shit hurt, because it was that whole, you're dependent on me, because he didn't love like that. He doesn't get it. And the dependent on
Yeah.
him was because he saw me as somebody who, like, wanted to be around him so much. And I'm like, I'm thinking,
Right.
like, what the fuck? What? You should want to see me too. Like, I don't
Right.
understand. And when he said that, though, it got so in my head of, like, am I dependent on them, or do I just like to be around them? And it fucked with my head so much, and I felt like, I just felt like I needed to, like, do nothing at that point in that relationship, and, like, that would have made him happy. And I mean,
Well,
I
I
fucking
mean,
left
yeah,
him, so.
so the one I was telling you about that's been trying to get back with me for like 3 years got
Yeah.
angry when I told him I was moving or planning on moving.
That's crazy.
Um which is
That's fucking nuts, man.
facts. He used to sit there and go, "You say you miss me too much. I'm sorry that I
Mm-hmm.
missed my boyfriend."
Right?
Because we were doing semi-long distance at the time. Like, it wasn't like a super far long distance. It wasn't like unplausible for me to like go up there or him to come down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very much so workable. But there would be those nights where I'd be in my feels, in my head, and I would sit there and go, "Oh, well, I miss you, like this, that, and the other. Have a good night." And he'd be like, "Well, you say you miss me too much. Like, what does that even mean? Like, do you not want me to tell you when I like think about you and I want you to, be around? Is that not something I should be telling you?" Like, and now all of a sudden you you're in a situation where you're like, "Oh, yeah, like I'm actually happy this person actually like seems really genuine, this, that, and the other," to all of a sudden you like rethink everything
Yeah.
upon everything. And it's like, again, at a certain point, you sit there and go, "Well, I've heard this my whole life, so maybe, just maybe, there's a fucking point. And maybe I just, shouldn't even try at that point, because you clearly don't appreciate the effort that's going into it. And I'm like you, it's I give 100% to any given situation, any type of relationship. Really, it's 100%. It's all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get people. I really don't.
Same. Like, right? It's
Oh, did I put that backwards?
like
I
you
did.
saying
God dang it.
that he said something to you about, you missing him too much. I had the fucking
Yeah.
same shit where it was, I would say to him, I thought it was weird. Now look, like we talked about, I guess I love a bit differently than people. I don't fucking know. It feels normal to me, but I would say to him, like, do you ever miss me? Because he would go away, he would go do things, and
Yeah.
never once heard from that boy. And this was like 2 years into our relationship, by the way, that I finally decided I'm a fucking idiot. Let's not talk about that. But I asked him that, and he was like, well, yeah, but like I also, like my time away. Fair enough, but I'm like, but when you go away for weeks at a time, do you ever miss me? And he told me no. And that shit, like, oof, man, when I said that too, I just felt that in my heart. Holy fuck. But
Right.
he said that, and I kind of thought like maybe there's something wrong with me of like, then why do I always miss you? Like, I don't understand why you don't. And
Yeah.
that was a tough one because I knew how much I cared. I mean, I'm 2 years into this relationship with this person, and I'm asking him if he ever misses me, and he fucking says no. Like, that's gonna sting. And that relationship, by the end of it, which is why the last guy I was with was like a fucking god. I mean, the one of 3 years, he made me feel by the end of the relationship, first of all, completely drained. But when I tell you,
Yeah.
I told myself, I convinced myself for months and believed it that I was never, ever, ever gonna be the person that's cared about like that. And I was never, because I'm thinking, I'm with this guy for how long and he can't care about me. The fuck am I gonna be with somebody and they're gonna care like that? And
Yep.
I convinced myself that, which is why the last guy I got so invested in, because he was the first guy in my life I thought wanted and cared about me for me. And he turned out a fucking dipshit. But, like, that's why I held on to him for so long, because I was like, man, that was nice to feel, even if it was for a minute. But that shit was nice to feel for even that second.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm right there with you because, like, I don't know, it's hard to verbalize a lot too about what plays in your head. And I know you know this and you go through it too because you sit there and then you start questioning what's in your head
Mm-hmm.
and going, am I really like making a big deal about this? Am I just not seeing things clearly? Am I just picturing, am I imagining it? Am I X, Y, and Z? Or am I, what if? Those what ifs all stack and stack. And then the next thing you know, you're 100% lost. How do you come back from that? That poses a question to everybody else out there that's like actually listening is how do you come back from that? Can you tell me?
Yeah.
Because that'd be great.
It is. Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Because I have been lost for years trying to fix or find the path again. And every time I think I found a semblance of that path, something happens or somebody comes by and says the thing that I've been hearing since I was like a child. And all of a sudden I'm back in the overgrowth. And I'm just so tired of surviving by like the skin of my teeth. And then you realize like the days go on, it's just easier to say I'm fine, I'm okay, whatever other like way of saying that. It's just easier to say because you get to a point where literally so wholeheartedly believe like nobody cares
Mm-hmm.
because you haven't seen anybody actually give a damn. And there are those few exceptions, like you would be one of them.
Well, that
And
that was the thing with the
but like
99% too. Just so you know, when I mentioned that it was like just Mackenzie, it's changed now that I've met all of you. Like, I just
yeah,
mean like at the time when I was,
oh no,
yeah.
100%.
I just wanted to clear it up for a second. I was like, oh wait, I forgot I didn't clarify that before.
I know
Shit.
that. They know that,
Okay.
but I know.
Yeah, I was like, just so everyone knows, Pengu is included. This was like a when I was meeting these people sort of thing. That's how I thought.
Things happen and everybody's fucked up in the head
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to find a way of distinguishing who's worth the fuck up. And unfortunately, in my case, every time I think I find someone who might be worth letting in, I get shown in some regards that that was a stupid choice. And it's not that I don't want to let people in. I would love to find someone on a non-platonic front that I could trust. But the one, two times before that, your favorite person, I let them in. And then they turn around and use the stuff that I told them to make jokes.
Oh.
Fool, I trusted you with information I don't tell people, I don't talk about. And like you're gonna turn around and go, ha ha ha, this is great material, I'm gonna use it against you.
Ugh.
So cool. Thank you for showing me that I really shouldn't talk to people. It's great. I appreciate that. You're a gem.
That makes me so mad.
And like, so I did the one thing that you keep telling me not to do, that I keep telling you it's probably going to happen.
mm.
And I closed myself off. Every time I'm shown, like, if I try to start to let somebody in, it's not worth it. So why am I going to keep trying to do something that's not worth it? The like technical definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at, is I do the same thing and I expect someone to, in a non-friend way, show that they actually care. And then the next thing I know is we're not even like really chatting anymore. So there goes not only that person I decided to have hope for, and maybe something can come of it. So I lost that. But now you took such a step back that now I lost somebody that I felt comfortable talking to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So now it's not just the one loss, it's the double whammy. But you're still going to sit there and say like I'm a good person and I'm awesome or amazing or insert whatever like positive fucking adjective here. But you don't act like it. And then I don't talk about it because nobody actually genuinely cares except for maybe one or two people. But then I feel like every time I like talk about it, I'm either generating sympathy I don't want or I'm bringing them down. And so now it's another round of let me just shut myself down.
that's like the I don't know, cuz I get the shutting down and talking about how you feel and getting it shut down because it's a weird thing to explain how I like grew up, but like I was the dad's daughter of Mr. Tough Guy. Like he was, that's just
Mm-hmm.
how he was, how he carries himself. He will tell everybody in the world that that's who he is. And I was his, this is going to sound weird, but like Mr. Tough Girl, like my
Yeah.
brother was my mom. Like my mom is shy. She is quiet. Even though she's also so similar to me, where we're just like my humor comes from my mom, and the way I talk, the way I speak, all of those things. But I will say, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of my dad, the angry part of me, I'm not as angry as I mean, when I was a kid, I was a very angry kid because I watched my dad be my dad. My dad was like, I was never like him. I was
Mm-hmm.
not trained, but he kind of almost trained me to be the person that stood up for what I thought was right. And
Right.
when I hear my dad call my mom a piece of shit, you fucking whatever, cursing a storm when I'm like 6 years old, I
Enter
was,
verbal abuse here.
yeah, I was the, that's not okay. Come down the stairs, I don't care. My dad's massive, right? Like, he's 6 something, and he's just like a big guy. And my mom always tells me, like, she remembers me being like fucking 5, 6, 8, whatever age it was, busting down, coming down the stairs, and in my dad's face, who was bright red. I mean, like, when he screamed, whole fucking street can hear it. He kicked in my doors. He's punched holes in every walls, and my little ass didn't give a shit. I heard him talking about my mom, and I said, "Oh, fuck you," and I would yell back at him, and my mom would say, like, he'd be screaming, beat red, and I would just go, "I don't care." And that's how I would say, like, she's like, you would stand there and just say, "I don't care," as he's screaming. And that's how I was kind of raised, which is like, the way I am now really affects me because I used to be, I don't care. Like, you want to shit talk me? Or hey, you want to shit talk my friends? Shit talk me, I can take it. And now I'm at a point where it's like, I've been so shit on for myself, and I have fought every friend's battles, friends who have no problem leaving me, that I got to the point of like, I don't have that left in me. And now I am emotional. I get sad. I get affected by things, and it messes with my brain. And I have this thing of like, I was always called dramatic as a kid. Always called dramatic.
Oh, yeah. No, been there. Done
Yeah.
that.
So, like, reacting to your feelings and acting that sort of way, what are you going to feel? Dramatic, because your feelings were dramatic as a kid. At least, like, for me, like, that's how it was. Your feelings were dramatic. If you felt something, you were dramatic. And it's why I always apologize. Like, I just had this situation today talking to one of my friends. I'm talking about a situation, and for one, have never felt like I've lost my mind more in a situation. Well, okay, and it's not in like a horribly negative way, but like, my brain is fighting itself really, really hard, and I've never had it fight so hard. So I feel that like, my emotion being so strong in that sort of way is coming off dramatic, and I'm apologizing to him like, God, I'm sorry, and he's like, stop saying sorry. I'm like, but like, you don't get, like, I am not like this, and I'm seeing myself not act like I normally do, and it's making it seem like I am being dramatic because I've never seen myself like this, so it's gonna feel dramatic, and I just keep apologizing for it. And I've never had people tell me like, no, like, I mean this, you are not gonna annoy me, you are not gonna do this, I enjoy like, I've never ever had somebody do that before. And
Yeah.
I have, I mean, a handful of you now that do that, and I always say, like, I'm never gonna think you guys are gonna get like how much I appreciate that, because you can tell, but also like, you can only tell so much because you're not me, it has meant, oh my god, I mean, it just feels like you guys like changed my life, which is so dramatic sounding, but I'm not even kidding with you. Like, to have friends that actually sit there and say, like, hey, like you and I care about you, as sad as that sounds, I've never heard that in my life. I have been alive for almost 24 years. Never, not once, heard somebody tell me that. I have only ever heard that no matter how much I give, it's not going to be enough. I have been told I'm a piece of shit, I'm a bad friend, even though I'm there for everybody every second, and the second I can't, I'm a literal piece of garbage to them. I've been dropped like I meant absolutely nothing to people I've known for 15 plus years. So at a certain point, like, when these people, like you guys, are treating me the way you're treating me, it is like fucking God just came down here and was like, hey, this is exactly what you've never had, so now we're gonna overwhelm you with like fucking 10 of them, and it feels weird. And it's the same thing with relationship stuff, and I guess current things of being talked to nicely, or seeing, I guess, beauty in somebody that you've never really been able to see before, and that's scary because
Yeah.
if I've loved and I've liked the way I have before with these people who are assholes and pieces of shit, it's like, what the fuck am I gonna be like, man? To a person who is like a beautiful person. And I've never said that about a guy in my life, that someone is just like beautiful. But like, that's how I describe them, you know? And
Yeah.
it is scary to be like, hey, maybe I could be treated right for once in my life. But at the same time, you don't want to get your, like we were talking about this, you know, you don't want to get yourself excited because there's always that, like, I've never been this person. Why am I going to be the person this time? And
Or in my case, like, there's no probability of that happening.
okay, let's not say no probability because
Mm-hmm.
no, let's not. We're not going to do it. We're not going to say that.
That's fine. You don't have to say it. I'll say it.
Well, I'm
I can tell
never.
the truth.
I know you can say it to you, but I'm never going to think that about you, and I'm always going to try to tell you, But like, obviously, you know how I see you and how like I talk to you and how you mean to me, so it's hard to say like, oh yeah, Pango, that's not gonna happen. Like I'm never gonna say that. But it's no, I still do get you though with the whole you are amazing, you are this, but you're not enough because the last one, I mean, after he came back, you know, he told me, how did I meet somebody like you? How are you so amazing? How are you so this?
How did I get so lucky?
Right?
How did I? Oh my God. I'm so tired of hearing it. I really am. It's just
Exactly.
like you treated me like dog water, to use Father Dart's favorite fucking term, it feels like.
Shout out to
Like
Dart.
dog. Like dog. No, but okay, but no, really, like dog. For real? Like,
Yeah.
golly. Um,
Golly. These fucking people, man.
but like even talking to you beforehand, like I had to literally, and I know you caught on to it and you didn't acknowledge it because I know you. You're a sweetheart like that. But it was those moments like we were talking about it and I had to kind of stop because I could feel myself getting emotional about it.
Yeah.
And I had to stop because it's like, because like you, I was always told like I was a burden. I was a waste of space. I was a waste of money. I was never going to amount to anybody. Nobody was ever going to love me, worthy, deserving of anybody's love. Um, and every relationship that I have had has just further proven those points. And I had to like literally sit there and think about it. And I was like, how do you change your perception of that? Because the actual answer is you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You can have 500,000 people, to over exaggerate. Yeah, you can have 500,000 people telling you the complete opposite. But because these situations keep occurring, it's like it reinforces the ideas that were essentially beaten into you verbally.
Yeah.
Beaten into you. Um, and like, how do you like how do you deal with that? Because excuse me, because I have tried everything. It feels like it still happens, and then you start thinking, oh well, there's just something wrong with me then. Because I know you've heard me say that quite a few times over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The what is it about me? Because clearly this keeps happening, and it's not like and it's not like you're going towards like the same type of guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they've all been vastly different, so it's not like you can blame it on, oh, that's just my type, or that's just what I'm attracted to. It's not even like that. It's literally well, if all of these different types of guys are saying the same thing or doing the same thing, then what is it about me?
Yep, I
All it does is make you want to give up,
give up. Yeah,
which, yeah, you know where I'm at with that.
I know, and that's where like I know like currently we were talking before we started this we were talking about like kind of touching into like the current situation more, and
Hmm.
it's very weird because like we were in a similar spot, and then now it's like it's a weird spot where it's like changed, but at the same time like because like you're going through your thing, and then the thing that I'm going through is obviously different, but it's like a weird, I don't know. It's just a weird thing of just your brain doing your brain thing, so I can still talk to you about it because you still get it. Like even if our situations, even if they're different, you still get it because like we were talking about this before, and um my biggest thing right now is that like a lot of people don't understand that, and I didn't understand this because I've never seen it before, but my current thing is I I didn't realize that it was going to be like this, I guess, of I've driven myself insane plenty of times. But it's normally a
Right.
negative of like, you know, with
Facts.
the last guy, I was driving myself insane of what ifs, and I was scared because I wasn't sure if I believed him. And fucking stupid ass me actually did, and look what he did. But like I was more reasonable to think that
Well,
then. And now this
you
time
were
around,
also,
well, I was a little fucked up then too, but
but no, but at the same breath, in the same breath, sorry, you were also this time around more willing to
yeah.
actually listen to those around you that you knew genuinely about you.
And I'm trying
You
to like
you weren't so blindsided by it and blinded by the
yeah,
infatuation aspect.
like that's exactly what it was. I look back at past relationship, and again, like I think I've mentioned it today, but it was that the first guy that acted like he wanted me or saw me as like, oh my god, first guy. And I took that and ran with it because I'm like, oh my god, this is so amazing. It's always what I want to feel like. I've always wanted to be able to be me and whatever. And I looked past a lot of the things because I'm like, everybody's fucked up in some way. So I tried my best. And I think, before I've always had doubts of as like them as a person,
Yeah,
and I still dated them because I tried to look past it, tried to get inside and understand, and by that time, I'm already there where I found something about them I liked, and I took it and ran with it. In this
right.
situation, it's it's literally like, ugh, I don't want to sound like a fucking freak.
You're okay, you're not a freak. First off,
It's just like I
everything you're not used to all over
well, I'm not
again.
even it's not even like I'm at a point where this person is like, yes, I want you, so like I'm not at that right now. It's just seeing them as a person and seeing like I don't question anything. Like I do not question a singular thing that is said from this boy's mouth. Nothing. And that is kind of where it's a little freaky of like now I'm overthinking, and I'm like, what the fuck are you overthinking? Well, I'm overthinking how I was treated before, how I was fooled before, and the last thing I want is to look like a fool like the last one made me feel. They've all made me feel like fools. That last guy made me look like a fucking idiot because, for any sort of context to anybody, I was never the person that thought I would ever meet somebody online. I thought it was fucking weird, and that's just me being me. I just thought it was strange, the concept of it. And I met this kid that I thought was like, oh my god. Um, and I thought, you know what, I would go through anything to be with this person, and I had to explain to my family who thought, it was kind of weird. I'm not sure if they agreed with it. I had to explain to them like why this was different this time around. And I made them all believe me just to have him kill me, literally. And well, I guess not literally, but he really destroyed me bad. And that's the point where my family has never seen me like that. I've never had my mom not give me shit for so long because she was like, she's fucked up. And the fact that he made me look like that made me feel like that. And now I'm in a position of, like, not it happening again, but the whole, like, convincing people of a thing that they're not sure about and then potentially look like an idiot. That's kind of a big thing that scares me right now, too, is just the way that made me feel. That's, like, my biggest thing, is looking like an idiot. And
Well, and that's why with my situation, I took a step back because I didn't want to continue to make myself look like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, I went from having another person I was comfortable talking to not having that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I do think at a certain point you can and you will with that person, but
yeah, but by that point, am I gonna want it?
Yeah, that's
because unfortunately, once I get into that, well, fuck it kind of mentality, like, I usually don't put in a lot of effort because you're not showing me any effort at all, not even to, like, say hello.
true.
Kind of thing. So why am I going to put in that kind of effort when I know A, it won't be reciprocated. It never fucking is. And I'm always the one that does the let me put 100% into this to get 5% back.
It's, I don't know. I've also just never kind of, I guess, I just never had this situation of the brain being an asshole, but there's kind of no reason to be an asshole because, like, it's someone who is, and this also sounds like shit. I was telling Pang about this earlier, but my ex, like the one of 3.5 years, whatever it was. Now, I had a lot of issues with him. He had so many issues, and I wanted to look past them. I wanted to understand him, all of that type of stuff. And that's why I was with him, I guess, for that long. But I remember my friend asked me, like maybe 2 years in or so, what do you love about it? Because I was having issues. I mean, first fucking couple months of being with him, I was having issues with him. And she asked me that question of, what do you love about him? And I couldn't really think of anything. Because with him, he was better than the last. And that's what sold me. So stupid. I know. Nobody yell at me too bad. I understand. But that's really what it was. Is he had a quality of him. I love a goofball, and he could be that. He really wasn't, but he had that quality of, like, he can make a joke. He can, do this. He can. Yeah. So I got hooked on that because the last one couldn't. The last one was just like my dad. And that's kind of what I latched onto with him. But then with this time around, I was asked what I like about them. And I apparently, even though I do remember, I started, like, giggling. And my best friend who I was talking to about this, she was like, that's all you gotta say. Like, she's known me, I've known her since I was 8 years old. She told me she has never, ever, ever, ever heard me like that before. And as much as that was like, cringe, like, ew, who are you type thing.
Right.
It was kind of, like, nice to hear her say that. And she just kept asking me too, like, so what do you like? So what do you like? Even though, like, that was enough for her to know that it was different. But, like, it's so cringe, but, like, I always just keep saying, like, I've never seen a guy as like just like a beautiful person, and that's all I can like. I mean, I can give you a list. We're not gonna do that here, but like, it's just the fact that I see him like that, and I said that to her, and she was like, "Oh, that's different." I'm like, "Yeah." And then that fear of like, there's not been that confirmation of yes, I would like this too. So like me saying that immediately, like just saying this on here, I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, don't say that, because then what? You rewatch this in a couple days after they just said, I don't like you like that, and now I look like a fucking dipshit. Like,
That would be the story of my life. And I say that phrase a lot, but like, especially recently, like, I mean, you saw me, what, 5 days ago in comparison to today?
yes, yeah.
And it was like a complete 180. We went from what the fuck happened to us?
Yeah, us being cheesy.
Us being totally cheesy, me actually having a fucking smile on my face that I didn't have to pretend was there or force was there,
Yeah.
to now waking up and going, do I have the energy to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really a shit position to be in. All right, so we are gonna cut this off for now. Don't worry, if you're invested, there's a part 2 coming. Just don't trip, because honestly, I've been working on this one wall for 30 minutes, and I know y'all have been seeing me work on this one wall for 30 minutes. So we are gonna at least finish this one house through our therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Now, whether we do it all relatively close together or it takes us months, it's dependent.
Well, this
Fine.
fucking outro just watched me build a wall and break it down, so...
Yeah, dude. I've been doing that for 30 minutes.
I painted both sides of this wall, and I realized...
Right?
Wait, do I need to break... Okay, look, see, this is why we need a part 2, because we're gonna talk more, and we're gonna contemplate shit more.
Yeah, exactly. So, stick around. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll catch you on the next... We'll catch you on the couch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What the fuck is that?
Do I sound different?
Oh my god.
How do I sound?